All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Ship It Nation Week 14 cash game show. We'll go through, kind of develop that player pool and get you on the right track for some cash games, and then head over to shipitnation.com where we will have core plays for cash games for FanDuel and DraftKings. Do have quite a bit of injury news that's going to happen here later in the season where, more questionable tags and things going into Sunday, but we'll kind of talk through it as we go through the positions. But as always, joined by my guy Title. What's going on over there? Then any initial week 14 thoughts?
Man, crazy. It's week 14 already. In terms of the slate, 11 games. There still is some bye weeks, but 11 games, 3 in the afternoon window. And the afternoon window, it's okay in terms of like the ownership that it's going to get. But I mean, the main thing, you look at totals, 53.5, Bengals, Bills, depends where you look, but that's in a tier of its own. Then you got Rams, Cardinals, Colts, Jags, but like it has been in the past couple of weeks, you got one really low total and then a couple sitting in the really low 40s. So totals don't mean everything when it comes to DFS, but you kind of want some exposure to higher team totals, higher game totals. When we go through position by position, I actually think it's interesting. Like, we'll start right away at quarterback. I think Josh Allen all the way up top is interesting. And then I think saving money, like I've done a lot of this year, makes some sense too. So just like that decision alone will dictate what you do at other spots. So looks right now like a pretty solid cash week. However, like 1 or 2 injuries could change everything. Mute.
There are quite a few questionable tags, so things could potentially change. And the deeper into the season, the more likely that we get some of these surprises. But we'll kind of talk through everything. Hit on the marketing real quick here, as you can see at the top. If you want to give us a try, 5 days for $19. That includes everything, and the code is SHIPIT19. If you're interested in NFL content or just NFL or college football, our football package includes both. This gets you into Ship It games. This also gets you projections, ownership, the stone, stack rankings, the showdown content, and then also includes SaberSim, which is huge. So for $167, and yes, Tambo, our marketing guy, had to put the 6-7 in there. It couldn't have been 168 or 165. Had to be the 167. So we're making a play on the kids 6-7 thing here, but it's a good deal regardless of how the price ends. 167 all in for a content, phenomenal deal, and we would love to have you. All right, let's hop in. You already talked.
Hold on. For those people in Hoop was saying, he said the 6-7. I want you guys to make it known he had the hand gesture to go along with it. So yeah, I saw that down below. Crazy time.
This shit is painful, man. It is. I know. You're just getting into the kid stage of your life, and I'm entering the preteen, teen stage, and coach these kids as well. So it's very painful.
It's all around you.
Yeah, this shit's jammed in my face. So I got to make everyone else suffer through it as well. But you did talk at quarterback how, viable to go up, viable to go down. Josh Allen, I mean, in a phenomenal spot. They're projected to score 30, $7,700. The matchup with the Bengals couldn't be any better. So I think he's definitely in the conversation. I don't really see myself going to Stafford this week. Lamar Jackson. I think it's probably Josh Allen, or just go all the way down. Trevor Lawrence is showing up here. I would not play McCarthy. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm not playing McCarthy, and I don't think I can play Geno. Maybe it's Trevor Lawrence. Talk to me about some of these salary savers at the position.
Yeah, I think it's Josh Allen up top. Otherwise, I do think Trevor Lawrence, a very good price tag at 5.4K in one of the best game environments. Otherwise, I think it's probably Marcus Mariota at 5K against the Vikings. 21 team.
You don't want to do that because Jaden Daniels is in. So.
Oh yeah, I mean,
you definitely don't want to play Mariota.
Dang, Mariota was gonna be. Yeah, he was shoot.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe like 15 minutes before we hopped on here. So
yeah.
definitely don't want to play Mariota in cash this week unless you want to
That's
do it.
on me. So it makes it even easier. You got Trevor Lawrence, you got Josh Allen. Yeah, I saw he was practicing days ago, so I don't even know what he thought. My projection that I had in here, I do have to update the Washington stuff. So yeah, it's Trevor Lawrence down low, it's Josh Allen up top. And to be honest, I would want Josh, it's easier said. It's easy to say that. It's a big price difference, but you just feel a lot more comfortable with Josh Allen. But you're going to be playing James Cook. When we get to running back, yeah, you can totally do that. In tournaments, obviously, cash games as well. But I think Lawrence is in play.
Yeah, be fine with that. At running back, you talked about James Cook, 7,800. I mean, just going to continue to kind of beat on this drum where the Bills are in a really good spot. Projected to score 30. The Bengals defense is terrible. He's under 8K. And, this is just an average of our projection and SaberSim's projection. You can see here, we have him projected for 24.5. They have it for 22.5. Projections 23.5. I mean, that's a big projection for James Cook. He is, probably a cash game staple this week. In terms of other spends, Jonathan Taylor 9.3, Achane they got up to 8.8, so he's pretty expensive. Bijan 8.5, pretty bad matchup there. Sort by value and see what else pops up. Kenneth Walker questionable. I think he plays. It is a really good spot, I think, for RJ Harvey. 5,700. Good coach talk around him. Brees Hall 65. So there isn't like a full-on punt, but I'd be comfortable going Harvey and then seeing what else. If I need a third running back, a fourth wide receiver, or a second tight end, I feel good with Harvey, favored by a touchdown against the Raiders, who freaking suck.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're playing James Cook at 7-8. Again, just another easy way to get exposure to that game. Great spot for him. Then I think Bucky and Josh Jacobs are both very strong plays. 7K. Tampa, biggest favorite on the board. Josh Jacobs, 200 below. The price is just too cheap. There's no doubt about that. Packers, one of the better implied totals on the slate, sitting at 26.5 at home against the Bears. And then after that, yeah, I think you can go down to more savings, to RJ Harvey, to Kenneth Walker, possibly Aaron Jones if you need a 300 or 400, but I would feel much better getting Kenneth Walker or RJ Harvey, two big favorites against pretty bad teams as starters. So yeah, I think it's pretty clearly James Cook, and then double tight end is in play too. DraftKings still is under, like if you're playing Josh Allen, going double tight end because you can find like 3K options, it's easier to make that work. So by no means is 2 running back a lock right now, or 3 running back a lock right now. It is strong though, but James Cook would be a priority. Then it's like those 3 or 4 guys after that.
Harvey, Jacobs and Bucky. I guess I didn't realize Bucky had that big of a workload. Coming back from the injury, right around 20 touches, which is a solid number. 7K, and they're favored at home by 8.5, and be rooting them on for Survivor this week. So might as well parlay that with some Bucky Irving. All right, let's hit on one. Let's do tight end first because I want to see what our build is going to kind of look like. Trey McBride, they got him up there, and obviously he's going to stay up here. He's at 8K where he should be. You got Bowers, $2,000 cheaper. Then you got Tyler Warren, another $1,000 cheaper. So he is 5K. Sort by value. See what we have. Barner, 3,200. Fannin, 37. Brenton Strange, 39. Juwan Johnson, 4K. Pitts, 42. So we have a lot of cheap, viable tight end options here. So I think this is where maybe the double tight end comes into the conversation because there's so many guys here that you could potentially play for cash games where, again, we're at a price point where we don't need them to score 20 fantasy points. We're at a price point where go get us 10 or 12 or something like that, and we're good with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I'll take 10. I'll even take like 9 from a 3.2K, 1K guy. So I think I don't think you can spend up at tight end this week. There's just other positions. We talked about James Cook, possibly Josh Allen. When we get to receivers, there's some receivers you might want to pay up for. So I think Warren's the most expensive. I'd go at 5K. I do really like it. Again, probably my second favorite game on the slate behind the Buffalo spot. 5K is a good price tag. And he tush push stuff because Danny Dimes fractured fibula. I think he fumbled on it, but it is worth noting. It was, I don't think it was a goal line one. I think it was near midfield or something. But if it's tush push equity and 4th and goal, I mean, that's crazy upside for him. I know he got a 2-yard run earlier in the year. So yeah, I think Warren's strong. Then I think you're just going down at least 1K more. I think Strange is interesting. Opposite side of that game. Good rapport with Lawrence. They move the football well. The problem is he is fighting for a lot of targets. Jacoby, Brian Thomas. But yeah, he had a good role. Fannin, 3.7K, I think is fine. The targets have been there the past couple of weeks. AJ Barner, 3.2. Again, if you really want to go cheap, Loveland, 3.2, I don't hate. And that's probably as deep as I would go. But you're getting Loveland and Barner, 2 solid tight ends. Seattle's implied for a lot of points. There's no doubt Darnold kind of likes him. Loveland has been growing. His role's been growing. They're just so cheap. Even 8 points. Like if Josh Allen goes and gets you 30 and Trevor Lawrence gets you 12 or 15, like you'll want that 3.2K punt more than likely. So yeah, the problem with tight end is we wanted to go there to make it more clear. It's not really clear for who you're clicking, but it's clear that you're not spending. It's Warren or you're in the 3Ks.
Well, it makes you just feel better that you have options. Like even if you look at this, you're like, shit, I don't really want to play Barner. Okay, well then you got Fannin, Strange, Juwan Johnson right there. You got Kyle Pitts. All right, well I want a little
Juwan too. I should have said that.
Yeah. I want a little more stability. Okay, you got Tyler Warren at 5K. You can make him work with maybe one of these other cheap guys. So there are options, and like you said, like you're not paying up for McBride at 8K in cash this week, unless like some crazy news breaks and we get like a super cheap running back at a super cheap wide receiver that we have to play. Like odds are you're not going to McBride here today. You're saving money, and there's many options, depending on what you want to do. Let me clear out some of this stuff here just because there's some zeros that I don't want to include. So one thing that recently broke was Marvin Harrison out, and I don't know if these numbers reflect that. Type
in Harrison.
I think I just whacked him out with. Let's see, bring him back. Boom.
So yeah, we have ours, him in. So just go to Sabres in projection. Maybe we'll see what Wilson gets.
Sabre number and see. Sabre has it doesn't.
Well, I don't know how that makes
that doesn't make sense. That makes
no
sense.
Just exit out and change nothing.
So give me, I don't know what, like maybe 13.5 or something, 14.
Yeah, let's go 14.
14 and just see.
I mean, his roles, they're going to be trailing. They air the football out a ton. Yeah, 14's good.
Yeah, so I kind of went the opposite direction I thought it was going to go. So he shows up.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe if it's more. Let's see if there's any props out. But you keep talking. I'll look to see if there's props to get a better number.
Other spots have it way up there. So yeah, we could we'll go 15. Either way, he's gonna show up as a good play now. So we're at 15. Yeah, if you can find the props, I'll kind of start to talk to you a little bit. But at 15. He's showing up as the second best value on the slate. So let's sort by salary, see what we have at the top. JSN, 9K, Puka, 8.7, Jamar Chase, 82. These three have kind of been in a tier of their own. Got Devontae Adams at 7.7, and then a drop-off. Drake London sounds very iffy to play this week. I don't think he's practiced or has been in a limited capacity. Mooney's 4,800. But that offense is definitely a tough one to kind of predict and project. So you have guys at the top. We have Spence in pretty good spot. Ibuka at 63 to me is just way too cheap. There was some speculation that Mike Evans might play. They just ruled him out. 63 for Ibuka I think is a phenomenal play. Christian Watson is kind of emerging as the main guy in Green Bay, and Chicago's been winning ball games, but their defense still isn't all that good. 5,200 for him. I shit on Adonai Mitchell last week, and he proceeded to absolutely go. The funny part about shitting on him on Sunday is, when you won 50 and it gets to the afternoon games or late in the first set of games, you kind of look to see if you find your best team, right? Your best team that might have a chance. So I go through and I'm like, this team has all the guys that went off at 1 p.m. Eastern. and has a lot of PMR left. I pull it up. Sure shit, Adonai Mitchell's ass.
You needed him.
Yeah, you needed him. He's right in the middle of that lineup. But yeah, I mean, he's looked good. I wasn't really shitting on him, more the name change situation. But you have a lot of options, it looks like here. Ibuka, like I said, at 6'3", to me is just too cheap. Michael Pittman 5'4". So there is options, I think, at like every price point here. But for me, the ones that definitely stand out, Michael Wilson at 5'6". We put in 15. I think that's fair. Could honestly be higher. And then I like Ibuka at 6'3". I think that's just a little bit too cheap for my liking. So talk through these wide receivers here.
Yeah, I couldn't find any Wilson props, but just looking at 15 and 18 targets, and I know it's really hard to project that, but 15 and 18 in a game script that, I mean, they're going to have to be slinging the ball, probably trailing. Like that projection could be almost 17. I wouldn't even argue, but you're probably playing Michael Wilson on both sides. I just think it's way too cheap. So that's one spot. After that, from top to bottom, man, it was so weird to see Puka with a snowflake. Like, I mean, that one-handed grab was so sick. For
Insane.
anyone that didn't see that, go look
Insane.
that up. But yeah, him and Bowers, both of them, that was awesome. But
yeah,
8.7's too cheap. Like, I still think I prefer right now this week, I think I prefer Puka to JSN for the 300 savings. And it feels like the game environment is just a little better. And if you like JSN more, you have 300. I'm not going to argue with you. I have Puka projected a little higher right now. I just think it can get pushed a faster pace. The game can get pushed more. So I feel a little better there. I don't hate Jamar Chase either. If you play Chase over Puka or JSN, 500 cheaper. The targets are amazing. Should be slinging it. Big game right there. Both teams applied for a solid amount of points. Highest total on the slate. Ibuka, like you said, 6'3", just looks too cheap. They're going to be applied for a lot of points. Christian Watson, 5'2". DK Metcalf, 5'4". Adonai Mitchell, 4'6". I think that's the main stuff you're looking at. Pat Bryant, if as cheap as I would go, probably 3.4K, but I'm not sure we need to do that. I think I'd rather click double tight ends and play Michael Wilson, and then probably not go as cheap as, or like the cheapest I'd go is probably Adonai Mitchell. Like, man, his role is really good. There's no doubt about that. As wide receiver 1. So you play Michael Wilson, you play either Watson, or you play Michael Wilson, you play either Watson, Adonai Mitchell for cheaper, and as your spends, it's Chase, Puka, Chase, Puka, and Ibuka is kind of how I see it.
Yeah, I like the wide receiver options this week. I mean, the mid tier pretty loaded up. You have the guys up top who, yeah, I agree with you. Puka appears to be too cheap. Jamar Chase to me is definitely too cheap. So I think you can come here and kind of make everything work. To be honest with you, you can kind of close out here if you want. So a lot of solid options.
I feel better about this receiving room, I think, like who we're clicking this week than probably like the last 6 weeks.
Agreed.
Like, I think it's been really tough. And not there's just been a lot more options. I think Michael Wilson's a fun click. And then after that, you have good cheapies and good pay-ups.
Yeah. All right, let's check out defense real quick. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. See if there's anything cheap that we feel good about. I just have it sorted by value. Steelers against the Ravens. Well, I mean, if Lamar Jackson's going to play like he did last game, yes, absolutely. Sign me up for sure. I could go even cheaper, I think. I don't mind like the Jets against the Dolphins. It's like a 2-point spread, pretty close. Nothing's really standing out to me at defense.
Commanders against 9.
Commanders at 2,800. Yeah, that's
JJ McCarthy calls JJ McCarthy. I don't know if you saw. He calls himself 9.
Yeah, what's the deal with that?
He gets in a different headspace, or that's where he becomes a new person.
Yeah, well, you don't get to give yourself nicknames after playing the way his ass is played. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we always joke about that, but I mean, defense I'm not prioritizing, but man, he looks so bad. There's nothing wrong with picking on him every week.
Cheeks, man. Just got to go back to Cheeks. Cheeks is the best way to describe something like that. Straight up Cheeks. It's been bad.
Yeah.
It has been bad. All right, we'll flip over to FanDuel. Do us that favor, though. Hit the like and subscribe on this video. Helps us out a ton. We do these for free. They've always been free, and they'll remain free. So just hit the like and subscribe. FanDuel, it's always a little bit easier to pay up at quarterback if you want to. We have Josh Allen, 9,200. Certainly in play for all the reasons we've already talked about. Coming down, let's see if these guys are a little bit cheaper. It's Matthew Stafford, 1,200. I just have to find a way to play Josh Allen. I think if I'm anywhere close to spending, I would just find a way to get to him, in my opinion. This number's definitely wrong because Sabre doesn't have him in yet. So just put the 17. Not that it matters, not playing Jaden Daniels. If you do sort by value, though, with these numbers, Stafford is showing up, and then it's Trevor Lawrence, and then it's Jordan Love, and then it's Josh Allen. I don't know. Just looking at this, I'd be inclined just to find a way to play Josh Allen.
Yeah, no, I'm on the same page. FanDuel, it's easier. Michael Wilson's only 5'7" on FanDuel when we get there. That's
5'7"? Why in the world is he 5'7"?
Yeah, it's crazy. So
seriously?
That's
insane. Wow. Yeah, that's just stupid.
RJ Harvey's 6'5", Kenneth Walker 6'6". There's plenty of cheap options. Aaron Jones is free.
You're definitely
tight end.
Playing Josh Allen makes that pretty simple.
Yeah, tight end, like they priced up the McBrides, Bowers, like they have been enough where you just pretty much can't do it. You're forced to save. So yeah, it's just you got to play Josh Allen, I think, and that makes maybe Trevor Lawrence if you're really debating tough spots on DK. Maybe you can justify Trevor more there. Yeah, but yeah, I think it's Josh on FanDuel.
Yeah. Right. Go to James Cook a little more expensive over here, 9,300. He still is showing up though as the top value when I sort by value, so he's still there. Jonathan Taylor 97, HN 92, Bijan 9K. Big price tag for Derrick Henry. Josh Jacobs not as cheap. Bucky Irving not as cheap. But James Cook still showing up here in a big way. I liked Harvey on DK. Like him even more on FanDuel at 65. Kenneth Walker, like you talked about, good matchup, 66 for him. It's probably going to be more condensed, I'd assume, around these top three. I guess less of a decision opposed to DK, where on DK you do have Josh Jacobs underpriced. You do have Bucky Irving underpriced. Really not seeing that over here on FanDuel. So it's probably some combination of the top dudes here, I'd assume.
Yeah, you're definitely, I think, playing one of like JT, James Cook, Achan. Right, I lean James Cook, but I think all of them are strong. Like, I mean, man, playing JT only 400 more. Like, he's been the best running.
I was just looking at that.
Yeah, and I think you can play both. Like, what you do at receiver. Do you want Puka? Do you want Igbuka? Do you want to save at all three spots? Like, these are kind of your decisions. You have definitely spend up at running backs. You're playing three running backs on FanDuel. You have HN, Cook, JT, all good spend ups. If you're punting, all receivers are like not paying up at receiver and paying down at tight end, which were either, I think, playing Warren or cheap. You can play two of those three. So I'm good with that, but there's plenty of save or options to save. Jacobs is a little cheaper in a great role, like we talked about on DK. Bucky, I think, is fine. Genty at 6'8". His receiving work has been really good. Now, the matchup isn't great by any means, but he's not coming off the field. So I think that's a good price. I think Kenneth Walker, I think RJ Harvey, I think Aaron Jones, if you really want to save, are all very, very viable. So you're spending at least one of JT, Cook, Achan. It depends if you're playing Puka. Like when we get to the receiver room, we'll talk about that. But like you're for sure playing Michael Wilson. There's a couple other kind of cheap guys with good prices. So if you're playing James Cook, you can play JT, Achan, or you could play two of like Harvey, Walker, Aaron Jones, Genty, and then you can spend up at a receiver spot is how I see it.
Yeah, let's check out tight end because kind of alluded to the fact that we're forced to save money here. McBride 8.6. I can't do that. Bowers 7.3. You're probably looking at something Tyler Warren or below. I'd be fine with the 6.3 on Warren if you have it. Fannin 5.3. Kyle Pitts continues to be cheap over here at 5.3. Zach Ertz 5.2. So you have a lot of options here. I mean, Strange, we already talked about 5.4. Barner 5.3. Warren, I guess, is kind of in a tier of his own. He's like $1,000 more expensive than all those guys. I assume he's viable, so touch on that. And then I guess which of these low 5K guys stands out the most?
Yeah, Warren would be my preferred play if I can get him, which you definitely can at 6'3". The reason I say that is because like the other guys, Pitts at 5'3", Fannin 5'3", Barner 5'3", Strange 5'4", like it's only 1,000. I think there's a lot more touchdown equity. I would have to look at props. I look at them more on Sundays as the week closes, but I just think there's a lot more touchdown equity and just safety. That's a really big game for the division. Jags Colts, pretty much a pick. Like the fibula with Daniel Jones is a little concerning, but like I said, the QB sneak upside and the touchdown dependency on FanDuel, I think makes him really strong and even stronger on FanDuel than DK. If I had to save though, I think it's Fannin, Pitts, Ertz, Barner, and they're all in the same price. I truly don't know which one I would pick. What's your lean? Pitts because they got to chuck the ball and Cousins
whenever I see Pitt's name, I just see like Kirk Cousins' face, and it scares the crap. I don't know. Maybe it's Ertz for me, honestly. Like Jaden
Ertz
Daniels
had a great role.
Yeah, I mean Jaden Daniels back. I mean I don't know if that's good or bad because Mariota was kind of locking in on him at the end, but I think I would go Ertz. But man, it just seems like a freaking toss up. And like I said, the Kyle Pitts thing just. Maybe it is Pitts, but that just scares me with Kirk Cousins throwing on the football. I guess, if Drake London's ruled out, it's probably Pitts. And I don't think Drake London is going to play. Let's see. Questionable.
He had 8 targets.
He didn't practice today either.
I mean, their season shot. If he's even remotely hurt, I don't know why he'd play. They're big dogs. Play. They're at home.
Yeah, I think it's Pitts. You got 9 last week targets?
8.
8. Yeah, it's probably he caught 7 for 82. Yeah, it's probably Pitts if you're saving. But
I'd rather get Warren if I can. But there's definitely teams that I need those savings, and I'd be good with any of those guys. But yeah, Pitts is my lean if I had to choose right now.
Defense pricing has been pretty poor, I would say, on FanDuel. You have the Vikings at 3,300. I'd be fine with that. The Dolphins 3,800. I'd be fine with that. I guess Titans going against Sanders. I mean, that's never a bad idea. Packers are favored by 7, 4,100. Steelers, you got a lot of cheap options like sub 4K here that you can play. So, I don't know. I'd be fine with any of them.
Yeah, defenses, it's always tough. I'd see Titans as really cheap at 3.4K. Yeah. I looked at Commanders. They're 4-4, though, so definitely more expensive on FanDuel than DraftKings. Dolphins 3-8 against the Jets. I think that's fine. The full punts are definitely a lot more tricky, though. So, yeah, probably Titans the cheapest, and I think they're fine.
Yeah. All right. Wide receiver. I mean, you're definitely playing Michael Wilson at 5,700. Just a terrible price. I mean, terrible price. I mean, I put in 14. You could even go to like 13. He's still showing up as the top value. Put in 12.5. Right there is the second. I mean, he's just the clear best play. You got to put him in there for cash. After that, at the top, JSN 98, so even more expensive here. Puka 9.3, Jamar Chase 9.1. I think I agree with you. If spending on one, it's going to be Puka in this group, and then you kind of get some natural correlation here. If you're playing Michael Wilson on the other side, maybe get a little bit of a back and forth. So I think that makes some sense. Let's see. Jalen Waddle is still very cheap at 67. Zay Flowers, Watson 6'2", Michael Pittman 5'8", Ibuka 7'3". A lot of the same names over here, and you're playing one. So you're playing Wilson. You probably have a chance for another spend, so it could be Puka. Then you're just deciding on maybe like one more guy. If you can, I guess it kind of depends what you do at running back. If you go like the James Cook and Jonathan Taylor thing, Puka's probably out of the mix. Like if you are going Kenneth Walker, RJ Harvey, and James Cook at running back, you're probably going to be able to spend on a Puka. So it does kind of depend what you're doing at running back, but you have a solid group, I'd say like 5 or 6 options here.
Yeah, exactly what you said. Like if you're spending up at the running backs, you're not going to be able to spend up a receiver. If you're playing the cheapies, you can play Puka. I think Ibuka for savings is fine too. Waddle's price is criminal. Christian Watson 6'2" looks great. Jacoby Myers, great game last week, 6'1", a game environment we want to target. I don't really think you need to go cheaper than that. Like, we're playing Michael Wilson, so we're just talking about for the other 2 spots. And like Adonai Mitchell, that just shows DraftKings 4.6, FanDuel 6K, like that. He's up there in price, right by Jacoby. Brian Thomas, it is crazy to see him in this range and still not even playable in cash.
Where is he?
6.1K. Yeah.
Wild, man. Wild. Like the price at the beginning of the season, he was like, yeah.
They're 6.2K. So, yeah, I think a lot of it depends. You're playing Michael Wilson, and you're obviously not playing 4 receivers. So after that, are you spending up at running back where you're playing Waddle, Watson, Jacoby Myers, like 2 of those 3? Or are you playing like a Puka or Buka and you're spending a little more down at running back? So right now, I think my lean would be, as good as Puka is, like, man, that's a really strong 6K range. I just think there's plenty of underpriced. Like, all 4 of those guys are completely underpriced. So that's my lean right now, but we'll see.
Yeah. Wide receivers pretty solid this week. I mean, a lot of solid options at different price points. So that's good. Then you obviously have the lock here in Michael Wilson, just a really bad price tag at 5,700. But yeah, we'll see. All right, well, that is going to do it. We kind of went through DraftKings, went through FanDuel, and then, like I said, get on over to shipitnation.com. We'll have core plays. Title will put up the cores for FanDuel and DraftKings Cash to get you a little more narrowed down. Also got a big UFC card tomorrow. So if you're watching this and want some UFC content, I know Title will have everything posted probably later today, tomorrow morning with any updates. But it's a very solid card. Last pay-per-view of the year. So
forever. Because Paramount, right, is maybe.
Yeah. Yes. Last pay-per-view. Yeah, that'll be exciting. All right. Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
No, I mean, again, the Q tags, like I said, I started at the top of the show, still had Mariota and my stuff. So, yeah, we'll have to monitor. Just staring at the screen right now, there's 4. Some are more doubtful than others. Some are more probable. But we always break it down on Sunday. Everything's updated on the website like always. So, yeah, good luck in your Week 14 cash games.
All right, good luck to everyone. We'll be back next week for the Week 15 edition of the Ship It Nation Cash Game Show. Good luck in your head-to-heads, 50-50s, and double-ups this week.